Chapter 676. Human Medicine Goo. Hanli woke up in his bed. He slowly regained consciousness and opened his eyes. Beside his bed, his parents were kneeling on the ground, kowtowing to an elderly Goo master nonstop. They were expressing their gratitude. Dr. Mo, thank you for saving our son. Dr. Mo, we will remember your kindness for the rest of our lives. Father, mother. Hanli spoke with much difficulty. He muttered softly, my son, my precious son. You are finally awake. Hanli's mother heard his voice and jumped onto the bed, crying from joy. Little rascal, you are finally awake. Quickly thank Dr. Mo. If he was not here by chance, you would have died. Hanli's father was overjoyed. He quickly reminded him, Dr. Mo, thank you for saving my life. Hanli saw Dr. Mo and fear flashed across his eyes. I am the Goo master that is stationed in Han village. It was natural for me to save you. You were lucky today. You met me when I was patrolling the village. Dr. Mo laughed. Next, he left quietly while Hanli's parents were thanking him with all their hearts. Oh? This is interesting. Fang Yuan did not leave. He was lurking nearby, watching this scene. After he succeeding in connecting their luck, Hanli's luck fell drastically. It rapidly turned into a thin layer of deathly black luck. If Hanli was a Goo master with ample strength, he could ignore this luck. But he was a mortal, and a weak child among mortals. He was immediately killed by the backlash of this deathly black luck, choking on his food. Fang Yuan wanted to save him immediately. He had large numbers of mortal healing goo. A matter like choking could be easily resolved. He could be saved as long as a long time had not passed. As long as a person is not dead, their luck would not stop. If Hanli died like this, Fang Yuan's disastrous luck would only be alleviated for the moment, but it would continue getting worse. The root of the problem would not be solved. If Hanli was alive, then by connecting his luck to Fang Yuan's all the time, Fang Yuan's horrible luck would slowly improve. But the moment he was about to make a move, a figure jumped out of a large house in the village, rushing towards Hanli's house. Seeing the movement goo he was using, this was evidently a rank 2 goo. Master. Fang Yuan squinted his eyes. He silently got closer to the village, deciding to watch the event unfold. When this rank 2 Goo master arrived at Hanli's house, he straightened his clothes and pretended to be carefree. Next, he accidentally discovered Hanli choking. Because of the pleas of Hanli's parents, he saved Hanli and revived him. From their conversation, this Dr. Mo should be a healing Goo master that is stationed in the village. But it seems that Hanli and this Dr. Mo have some secret connection. Fang Yuan thought. In order to control mortals, Goo master forces would send 1 or 2 Goo masters to look after the respective villages in turns. Like Gu Jiangye on Qingmao Mountain, he was this kind of stationed Goo master. When Hanli and his family fell asleep, Fang Yuan sneaked into the house. He went to Hanli and used a mortal Goo, causing him to fall into deeper sleep. Fang Yuan stretched out his 8 huge arms. He searched all over Hanli's body and soon, he found something amiss. There were quite a few Goo worms on Hanli's body. His entire body's flesh and blood seemed to be influenced by Goo worms. These arrangements felt very familiar to Fang Yuan. A weakness of a zombie was that their cognition would slow. Fang Yuan could not find the key point and had to use the wills he stored in his mind to assist in thinking. He looked through his memories and soon found the truth. It turns out this so-called Dr. Mo is refining human medicine goo. This human medicine goo is a rank 3 goo. It uses a human child as the main refinement material, taking years to slowly nurture and grow. Once the human medicine goo was refined, it could only be used once to increase a person's lifespan, but it had huge drawbacks. That Dr. Mo is no longer young. It seems he wants to use human medicine goo to increase his lifespan, thus he placed his sights on Hanli. No wonder Hanli could grab the leaves of the dagger grass without any gloves. That was because his body had already been modified secretly. This is also why Dr. Mo came over quickly when Hanli choked. That was because he had placed a goo worm in Hanli's body that could monitor him. And finally, even though Hanli choked to death, he could still be revived easily. That was because the human medicine goo's refinement process caused his vitality to increase greatly. Fang Yuan realized at once. Even though he found out Dr. Mo's scheme, he did not do anything to stop him. If Dr. Mo mysteriously dies, Han village would definitely be investigated. If he does not die, in order to refine human medicine goo, he would need to take good care of Hanli. There are still 3 to 4 years until human medicine goo finishes refining. Well, I just need Hanli to be alive. Fang Yuan activated luck inspection goo again, checking Hanli's luck. Ever since the luck connection had succeeded, Hanli's luck had fallen drastically. His special luck was gone. becoming like that of a normal mortal. A thin layer of luck resembling faint smoke. Fang Yuan observed for a while, noticing that the black color in Han Li's luck had vanished, turning into a gray-white color. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. He summed up his experiences this time to reach a conclusion. Black color represents death. Without the black color in his luck, Han Li was in no danger of dying for the moment. As the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining. There could be great fortune after surviving a near-death experience. After Han Li's crisis just now, his luck had been improving. Thinking about it, I narrowly survived a disaster in northern plains by relying on my own strength and schemes. Ever since I escaped from the wind veil of assimilation, half of my black coffin luck has most likely dissipated. But even so, Han Li was nearly killed by my luck. It seems I have to find a few more targets and connect our luck together. Fang Yuan's gaze shined for a bit. In the end, he secretly placed some goo worms on Han Li's body before leaving, using his superior methods. There was no way the rank 2 Dr. Mo could find them. One day, if Dr. Mo tries to harm Han Li, he will definitely suffer severe consequences. Lad, I gave you 3 lifelines. From now on, you will have to rely on yourself. Hee. Fang Yuan arrived silently and left unnoticed, not leaving behind a single trace. He first went far away from Shajing Oasis, before activating fixed immortal travel at an empty location. The next moment, he appeared in Central Continent. A huge heavenly river flowed down from the sky. It flowed through the entirety of Central Continent, towards the eastern side of Central Continent, into eastern SEA. The downstream parts of the heavenly river, because of the impact caused by the water. It formed a huge fertile plain. There were abundant resources in the plain, people and nature flourished in abundance. Countless small and middle-sized sects were established here. Among these sects, there was one small sect that was inconspicuous, but had quite the grand name. It was called Universal Life Academy. Fang Yuan hid in a forest, observing them from afar. The academy was in a mountain valley. There were only a few rooms here with only one square. It seems that they were currently holding a sect competition, as there were 2 stages in this square, with hundreds of goo masters watching below the stages. This battle between mortal goo masters was extremely short. There was nothing too outstanding. But in the eyes of the spectators, it was extremely exciting, especially for the youngster, Hong Yi, who was standing among the crowd. This competition had great meaning. I have bull strength, tiger strength, and even obtained the goo worm, rewind, by chance. My battle strength is first-rate among rank 2 goo masters. During this competition, I must shock everyone with my skill and obtain the number 1 spot in the academy. This way, I can force my father to relent and place my mother's memorial tablet in the ancestral hall. Hong Yi clenched his fists, deciding in his mind. At the same time, Fang Yuan, who was far away, muttered with bright shining eyes, "Found you, Hong Yi." This Hong Yi's luck was not worse than Han Li. He was also a rank 7 legend that appeared during the 5 regions chaotic war. He cultivated strength and soul path. He had exemplary talent and was extremely skilled in self-creating killer moves. He had many fortuitous encounters. He obtained the body of an ancient Rockman king. He deciphered an inheritance left behind by star constellation Immortal Venerable, and even through a lucky coincidence managed to subdue an ancient desolate beast, White-Horned Cheelin, as his steed, even though he found his target. Fang Yuan did not strike immediately. Right now, this scene is in the middle of broad daylight. I will cause quite a commotion when I use Connect Luck. I might be discovered. This was not Han Village. In Han Village, there was only one rank 2 goo master stationed, but here, it was an entire sect full of goo masters. Not only this, there were 3 to 4 other small to mid-sized forces in the valley. In this entire plain at the downstream of the Heavenly River, there were countless sections. Among these mortals, there were even some lone cultivator goo immortals. These goo immortals were all creators of the sects. If Fang Yuan used Connect Luck Immortal Goo here, he might be discovered by them. I can only wait until night when everyone is asleep. I will arrange many mortal goo and try to conceal the area. It is worth a try. Fang Yuan was very experienced and cunning. He would never be lacking in patience. When it was night time, Universal Life Academy became silent. As Fang Yuan opened his eyes, "Very good. I have arranged over 10,000 goo worms in the vicinity of the valley. My preparations are complete. To conceal the aura of the immortal goo, I will need to use Connect Luck for half the night." Right at this moment, there was the sound of a spatial disturbance in his aperture. A moving perspective cup goo appeared out of nowhere in his immortal aperture. There was a letter in the moving perspective cup goo. Is Tai Bai Yunxing in trouble? Fang Yuan's consciousness entered the goo. He soon found out that the letter did not come from Tai Bai Yunxing, but from Fairy Li Shan. After the Snowy Mountain Alliance, Fang Yuan passed Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan a moving perspective cup goo each, while he kept the other half of their respective moving perspective cup goo. The contents of the letter made Fang Yuan frown deeply. This was a letter asking for help by Fairy Li Shan on He Lu Lan's behalf. He Lu Lan was being chased down by her father. She was in great danger. How can this be? Damn it. Fang Yuan sighed deeply. Because of their oath, he had to put aside his own matters and swiftly return to Northern Plains to assist He Lu Lan. In any case, for the time being, Hong Yi was going to stay here. It would be easy for Fang Yuan to find him. I'll let you off for now. Fang Yuan hurriedly retrieved most of his goo worms, avoiding leaving behind traces as much as possible, before he sneaked into a cave and used fixed immortal travel.at the next moment. He arrived in a secret room at the third peak of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. In the secret room, Fairy Li Shan was pacing back and forth worriedly. Upon seeing Fang Yuan, she got close to him. You are finally back. I am extremely anxious. The situation is terrible. Little Lan is being pursued by that evil scoundrel. Why aren't you helping her? Fang Yuan frowned. I was going to act, but Little Lan urged me to continue hiding our connection. She did not want our relationship to be disclosed. You came alone? Where's Tai Bai Yunxing? He has other matters now. Fang Yuan asked again. How many goo immortals are pursuing her? Only two. One is He Qing while the other is Shui Songzi. I placed an investigative goo on He Lu Lan. Her situation is very dangerous now. Quick, I will use my thoughts to transmit the scenery to you. Quickly go save her. Fang Yuan inspected the thoughts and used fixed immortal travel. At the next moment, he appeared beside He Lu Lan. Chapter 677. First battle with He Qing. Lu Lan, stop running. You are my daughter. Why would I harm you? Don't listen to other people's defamation. We as father and daughter have a huge misunderstanding. I admit, it is true that I have the yin-yang life extension method, but this method cannot harm lives. Your mother really passed away because of the earthly calamity. He Qing floated in the air, using a tone like one who felt unjustly treated, trying to persuade He Lu Lan that he wore a black robe and had fair skin. His eyes were dark and his face was like jade. He had beautiful facial features and gave off a vibrant aura. He was truly a famously handsome man among Northern Plains goo immortals. When he urged He Lu Lan, his tone was sincere. It was overflowing with emotions, coupled with his good looks. Outsiders who did not know the details might have truly believed him. But He Lu Lan already had clearly seen this man's true colors. She gritted her teeth. Evil scum, who would believe your hypocritical lies? If the yin-yang life extension method really cannot harm lives, why don't you let me see it? Hee, I believe that Shui Songzi at your side will also be very interested. Shui Songzi was tall and thin. He wore blue clothes and his snowy white hair extended to his feet. He stood beside He Qing without saying a word. He was a demonic path goo immortal. He controlled the seventh peak of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. Earlier, he had sponsored Ma Tribe and Ma Tribe lost in the Imperial Court contest. Thus he was heavily suppressed by He Tribe. Next, in order to obtain the Strength Path Immortal Goo, He Lu Lan exposed the secret of He Qing, causing harm to Su Xian heir to him. Shui Songzi thus had a secret weapon to restrain He Qing. He Lu Lan had wanted to use Shui Songzi to ruin He Qing's reputation. But to think that the two of them had actually ganged up. Upon hearing this from He Lu Lan, Shui Songzi's eyes moved about as he turned around towards He Qing with much interest. Maybe I can help your daughter evaluate it? He Qing snorted, ignoring Shui Songzi's words. He changed his attitude, his eyes shining with cold light as he spoke to He Lu Lan calmly. Daughter, you do not know what is good for you. He Lu Lan spat in response to his words, but what came out was blood. She was in her true form now. She was bathed in blood as her armor was broken. She was in a pathetic state. Her gaze, however, turned more ruthless as her killing intent boiled. She showed a mocking expression on her face. Father? Hiki, the Grand Righteous Path Rank 7 goo immortal, Lord He Qing, actually brought along a demonic path goo immortal with him to coerce his daughter. If this scene was shown to the world, I wonder what would happen. He Qing was indifferent towards such mocking words. He smiled lightly and showed his deep and unfathomable shrewdness. Lu Lan, you have nowhere to run. You have the great strength true martial physique. It is 10 times as hard for you to become a goo immortal compared to normal people. Without my help, you cannot become a strength path goo immortal. Kill me if you have the guts. Hei Lu Lan showed her fierce nature. Her expression turned ruthless as her aura surged. If you force my hand, I will self-detonate. I will let all your efforts go down the drain. When your plans fail, I wonder what you can do. Hei Qing laughed. If you die, how will you avenge your mother? You've endured this and lurked for so many years, painstakingly developing. Wasn't it all for revenge? Unfortunately, mortal and immortals are worlds apart. Even if you have one of the 10 extreme physiques and are able to bully some bottom-tier rank 6 Gu immortals. For you to kill me, a rank 7 Gu immortal? Delusional. Although he said that, Hei Qing still felt some agitation in his heart. Hei Lu Lan pointed out Hei Qing's concerns. Although he had the immortal Gu Dark Arrow, this immortal Gu could only be used to attack. Hei Qing did not have capturing methods. If he forced her hand, and Hei Lu Lan self-detonates, he could not stop her. Most importantly, such acts of harming his daughter could not be known to the public. He could only work in secret. Otherwise, with Hei Qing's reputation and influence in Northern Plains' righteous path, he could bring at least 5 to 6 Gu immortals with him. But now, he only brought Shui Songzi, and Shui Songzi was a demonic path Gu immortal of Snowy Mountain. He only would care about benefits and could not be trusted. Although he seemed to be an ally, Hei Qing from the beginning was guarding against him. Earlier, Hei Lu Lan had exposed his secret. After Shui Songzi obtained this weakness, he did not expose it to the public. Destroying Hei Qing's reputation could decrease Hei Tribe Gu immortals' pressure on Shui Songzi. But if he used it to threaten Hei Qing, he would be able to gain more benefits. Thus, before the wind veil of assimilation appeared, Shui Songzi found Hei Qing in person and threatened him with this secret. Hei Qing was stunned at that moment. His secret that had been hidden for so many years was known by an outsider. He almost lost his bearings. But he was an old and shrewd person. He quickly calmed down and used his glib tongue to accede to a portion of Shui Songzi's requests. Next, Hei Qing even urged Shui Songzi to cooperate. As long as he assisted in the plan and it succeeded, he would gain more benefits. Shui Songzi gave an overbearing request. He was interested in the yin-yang life extension method. Although Shui Songzi was middle-aged and also had lifespan Gu, who among Gu immortals would not be interested in a life extension method, Hei Qing was furious and helpless. He could only agree for now. Thus, Hei Qing and Shui Songzi's seemingly united but internally divided alliance was formed. Just as Hei Lu Lan, Hei Qing and Shui Songzi were at a stalemate, a bright jade green light burst out beside Hei Lu Lan. The jade light dissipated, revealing Fang Yuan's huge body. He was 6 meters tall and had 8 arms. He had a green face and red eyes. His entire body was covered in a black shiny armor which had many spikes on it. Facing strong foes, Fang Yuan did not dare to be careless. He first used the defensive killer move, hair armor, before using fixed immortal travel to come here. Although fixed immortal travel could only transport humans, when Gu masters use Gu worms, they can form clothes and armor, and would not have to teleport naked every time. Back when Fang Yuan teleported from 3 Kings Blessed Land to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, because he was short on time and did not have the relevant Gu worms, he had to teleport naked, and gave Feng Jin Huang an unforgettable experience. You are finally here. Hei Lu Lan saw that her reinforcement had arrived. Her expression brightened. Which Gu immortal is this? Who are you? Shui Songzi quickly asked in shock. Fang Yuan rapidly looked at the two in the air. His voice was hoarse as his surging killing intent was displayed. The person who will kill you. As he spoke nonsense with them, he transmitted to Hei Lu Lan. Quick. We cannot stay here for long. Enter my immortal aperture, and I'll bring you away. Hearing that Fang Yuan was trying to kill him, Shui Songzi flew into a rage. Such words. Next to him, the Gu immortal Hei Qing reacted more quickly. Attack. That immortal Gu is fixed immortal travel. He only needs 3 breaths of time to escape. We cannot give them any opportunities. As they spoke, Hei Lu Lan had already entered Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Shui Songzi's expression turned severe. He waved his sleeves and created a curved moon blade wheel that was the size of a horse carriage. The blade will spun in the air, slashing at Fang Yuan. Killer move. Icy wind blade wheel. The blade wheel made of ice was extremely sharp. It was oozing with frost energy and was extremely fast when pushed by the wind. Before the blade wheel had reached him, Fang Yuan could feel the icy winds blowing on him. This killer move is very fierce. It has the essence of both ice and wind path. Its value is at least 3 immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan squinted. He logically chose to evade it. Killer move. Light illusion bat wings. 2 large phantom black bat wings appeared behind him. After the phantom wings flapped, they vanished. Fang Yuan gained a huge boost in speed. He moved like lightning and flew sideways, dodging the icy wind blade wheel. The blade wheel hit the ground, making a loud sound as it dug deep into the ground like cutting tofu on the grassland. The blade wheel carved out a huge trench, an ice that was tough as. Rocks formed on the sides of the trench. Although Fang Yuan dodged the icy wind blade wheel, Pei Qing's attack was right in front of him. This was a very inconspicuous small black arrow. The body of the arrow was short, it was about half a person's arm length. It was black and did not give out any aura of danger, but precisely because of this, Fang Yuan was on extreme alert. This was the attack of the immortal Gu Dark Arrow. Pei Qing was experienced in battles. He was ruthless and used his trump card from the start. Fang Yuan quickly activated his killer move, Light Illusion Bat Wings, but the black arrow was like a magnet attracted to him. It changed directions agilely and was fixed on Fang Yuan. He could not shrug it off at all. Immortal Gu Dark Arrow's attack could home in on enemies and turn in different directions. Its speed was fast. Even though Fang Yuan was a flying master, he could not shake it off. As the distance between him and the dark arrow shortened, he fell under greater threat. Fang Yuan's defensive killer move, Air Armor, although it had a high price-to-performance ratio and was widely spread during the 5 regions chaotic war. It was only a mortal killer move. Dark Arrow could pierce it in one hit. Even though Fang Yuan's immortal zombie body was strong, it could not resist the might of Dark Arrow, especially when this Dark Arrow ignored Fang Yuan's body, heart, and other areas, only aiming for his sole weakness, his brain. After becoming an immortal zombie, Fang Yuan's heart, throat, anus, and all other areas were no longer weak points in his body. Even if they were destroyed, he would still function fine and would not take too much damage. But his brain was different. If his brain was destroyed, his mind would also perish. Fang Yuan would be unable to think, unable to act, and would be at his enemy's mercy. Activating fixed immortal travel required 3 breaths of time, but the dark arrow chased relentlessly. Fang Yuan did not have the time for it. Fang Yuan moved around rapidly. The many mortal goo that made up his killer move, Light Illusion Bat Wings, were starting to be worn down. It is over. Pei Qing laughed coldly, waving his sleeves and shooting out another dark arrow. My dark arrow immortal goo is merely rank 6 and can only shoot out up to 3 dark arrows at the same time. No matter who you are, making me use 2 dark arrows to deal with you, it should be your honor. Pei Qing looked at Fang Yuan struggling at the brink of death as he evaluated arrogantly. Humph, what are you so proud of? I was just toying with you. Fang Yuan spoke in a hoarse voice and laughed suddenly. 2 dark arrows attacked him at once. He knew he could no longer avoid using green grape immortal essence, activating the immortal goo worldly wave trace. Swoosh! A huge wave appeared below Fang Yuan's feet. The waves moved quickly. Fang Yuan stepped on them as he quickly created some distance from the dark arrows. The power of an immortal goo was truly extraordinary. Earlier, Fang Yuan had used Light Illusion Bat Wings no less than 100 times, but he could not escape from the dark arrows. But right now, he had just used Worldly Wave Trace once and immediately moved far away from it. Chapter 678, number 4 in the list of mystical goo. Another immortal goo. Shui Songzi's expression changed. His gaze was heated, looking extremely jealous and envious. To think that in order to obtain wooden chicken immortal goo, he spent so much effort and scheming, yet his plans still failed him. The immortal zombie in front of him actually had immortal goo, which most ordinary goo immortals did not have, and he even had 2. Pei Qing, Shui Songzi, that will be all for today. Enjoy your life from now on, because you do not have much time left. Fang Yuan's tone was chilling. He stepped on the flying wave. At the same time, a jade green light flashed on his body. 3 breaths of time later, fixed immortal travel carried him across space. Leaving this battlefield. 2 dark arrows arrived at his former location, only hitting the last trace of jade light remaining. Oh no, they ran away. Shui Songzi's expression was extremely ugly. He questioned Pei Qing. Aren't you a rank 7 goo immortal? Why couldn't you stop them? Shui Songzi, mind your tone. Pei Qing was expressionless. He gave Shui Songzi a cold glance. Shui Songzi was pressured by Pei Qing's grand aura. His expression became less overbearing. Pei Qing spoke calmly. The other party has 2 movement immortal goo. Unless we have an immortal goo that can seal the environment, we can only watch them escape. However, the tracing method I used on He Lu Lan is extremely secretive. It is a killer move at the peak of the mortal level. As long as she shows up in Northern Plains again, I will detect her. Also, this was not a fruitless trip. We have already found out that He Lulan has a force backing her. Without help, there is no way she could have reached this stage. I just did not expect an immortal zombie with 2-movement immortal goo to show up. It seems the force behind He Lulan is not simple at all. Hee, the situation is getting interesting. Saying this, He Chung showed a faint smile. He felt no dejection after this loss that he did not strike against He Lulan. On one hand, he was wary of her self-detonation. On the other hand, he wanted to draw out her mysterious backer. What are you saying? Shui Songzi's gaze focused. Immortal zombies are often the result of goo immortals who are forced by circumstances when they have no way of extending their lifespan. Do you think this immortal zombie is truly the person supporting He Lulan behind the scenes? He Cheng asked with deep meaning. Fang Yuan did not fight against them. He only displayed his flying master attainment when he dodged the dark arrows. But this attainment was nothing special for goo immortals who had lived for hundreds of years. At this moment, He Cheng and Shui Songzi did not know Fang Yuan's true battle strength, and Fang Yuan did not receive much of their attention. They thought he was a normal immortal zombie. Shui Songzi's gaze flickered. I understand what you mean. This immortal zombie is not the crucial person. His 2-movement immortal goo are most likely loaned to him by others. He Cheng nodded. That's right. This mysterious person is likely to be someone we know. They sent an unfamiliar immortal zombie over here to help. That means it was not convenient for them to appear. This mysterious person is leaving no clues for us. How will we investigate? Shui Songzi felt a headache. An enemy hiding in the dark was the most troublesome kind. Not only did he feel restrained, he did not know who to trust and who to target. They have already shown a flaw. He Cheng laughed loudly. Be it fixed immortal travel or worldly wave trace, they are both related to Central Continent. Such an obvious clue is enough for us to discover many things. As long as I can uncover the true identity of that person, I will be able to take them down all at once. Saying this, He Chung showed a ruthless expression on his face. Fixed immortal travel brought Fang Yuan back to Fairy Li Shan's residence. Little Lan, how are your injuries? Seeing that He Lulan was leaving Fang Yuan's immortal aperture while covered in blood, Fairy Li Shan was very nervous. She quickly went over and checked. Little Aunt, it is not a problem. That scoundrel did not attack me seriously. He was only putting on a show. He Lulan laughed, as if she was not the one injured. Fairy Li Shan's heart was eased. She let out a breath of turbid air. It seems that your guess is right, Little Lan. That scoundrel really planted some tracking method on your body. This method is extremely well hidden. We could not find it even after searching intensely several times. Fang Yuan heard this, and his gaze turned cold. He looked at He Lulan closely. That is to say, you were discovered by He Cheng on purpose? I would not say it was on purpose. He Lulan looked into Fang Yuan's eyes without any fear. Earlier, Little Ant found some crucial information. It was regarding the whereabouts of Ma Hongyun. Ma Hongyun was taken away by a northern plains goo immortal, Qin Bai Sheng. His blessed land is situated in Crimson Reed Marsh. I went there intending to sneak into the blessed land and see if the information was true. I didn't expect that He Chung was also nearby. The moment I stepped into Crimson Reed Marsh, he detected me. Fang Yuan nodded. He believed what He Lulan said. Of course, this was not because he trusted He Lulan, but because this was part of the Snowy Mountain Alliance. Allies could have personal secrets, but they could not lie. If you did not say it, then that is fine. But if you spoke, it had to be the truth, otherwise the oath would kill you. Ma Hongyun, as his name suggests, has fortune that rivals heaven. If I connect my luck to him, it would be far more effective than Hong Yi and Han Li. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan asked, how reliable is the information that Ma Hongyun has been captured by Qin Bai Sheng? He Lulan and Fairy Li Shan looked at each other. As Fairy Li Shan said, according to our analysis, there is a 70% chance that we can believe it. During the battle inside the Wind Veil of Assimilation, dozens of goo immortals from the righteous and demonic path were involved. I was there at the time. It was a chaotic scene. After the battle, everyone had their own guesses on who captured Ma Hongyun, and that resulted in dozens of small conflicts, but they were all proven to be wrong. This time, our information is different from the rumors. We have reason and evidence. Evidently, an insider had purposely leaked the information. Qin Bai Sheng is a rank 7 lone cultivator goo immortal. He is a famous expert in the metal path, and also has his blessed land to defend himself. But Ma Hongyun's matter involves giant sun immortal venerables luck path true inheritance. This has too much of an attraction to northern plains goo immortals, especially when Qin Bai Sheng does not have the Huang Jin bloodline. Everyone is jealous of him. Fang Yuan nodded. That is to say, this is a troublesome matter. If Ma Hongyun was really captured by Qin by Shang, then soon, a band of Gu immortals are going to attack Crimson Reed Marsh. That is exactly so. He Lu Lan laughed heartily, her beautiful black pupils radiating with light. The way I see it, this information should be true to a huge extent. Luckily, Little Ant did not expose her identity this time. When the righteous and demonic Gu immortals team up, they will need Little Ant's mountain pledge Gu. At that time, we will be able to find a chance and intervene in this matter. If there is a chance for us to obtain the luck path true inheritance, we will strike. If not, we will take a step back. Using the time in which that old scoundrel He Qing is engaging in battle, I will have a chance to ascend to immortal. He Lu Lan was a formidable person, like Fang Yuan. She was very skilled in scheming. Fang Yuan asked coldly, although this was the first time I met He Qing, I can confirm that he is no simple character. If he refuses to join this, what will you do? To He Qing, although the luck path true inheritance was important, it could not compare to his lifespan. There are so many people fighting for the luck path true inheritance, it is like a battle of tigers and wolves. He might as well stay uninvolved and settle the issue of He Lu Lan instead. Fang Yuan's words directly addressed the problem. He Lu Lan's brows rose. She replied enthusiastically, I do not have much time left. It has been fortunate I have had Little Ant's help these recent days. In half a month, I will have to ascend regardless of the situation. If He Qing comes to find trouble then, it will be a perfect time to deal with him once and for all. In her words, she had already disregarded the possibility of death. Her fearless and resolute disposition was fully displayed. That means, there is a possibility I have to fight He Qing? By then, we cannot escape. In order to protect you, I will fight him head-on. Fang Yuan's gaze was uncertain. Fairy Li Shan said, Fang Yuan, don't forget, when a Gu master ascends to the realm of immortal, there will be a huge influx of heaven and earth qi. Under that special environment, He Qing's battle strength would be heavily suppressed. Little Lan's ascension is extremely important. I will be there personally. Together with Tai Bai Yun Xing, we have 3 Gu immortals on our side. He Lu Lan replied graciously and understandingly, Fang Yuan, in order to save me this time, you used fixed immortal travel 3 times, and lost 3 green grape immortal essence beats. You also used 1 bead to activate worldly wave trace Gu. According to our alliance, you will be compensated twice the amount, that is 8 immortal essence stones. That's right. Fang Yuan looked at He Lu Lan. It was so easy for intelligent people to communicate. Fairy Li Shan spoke suddenly. 8 immortal essence stones. I can give that to you right now. But I also have other things, Fang Yuan. Perhaps you should take a look. You might be interested in them. Saying this, she took out 2 killer moves and 1 Gu recipe. Fang Yuan looked through them and was very interested. Of the 2 killer moves, one was called Poison Breath, a poison path killer move. It could turn a Gu immortal's breathing into a poisonous gas. The killer move had little strength, but its advantage was sustainability. If a long time passes, the Gu immortal's surroundings would be covered in a layer of poisonous gas. It would unceasingly poison all the surrounding people and things. But this killer move had a flaw. It was easy to hurt oneself. Especially an ordinary Gu immortal's body, they needed to protect and heal their nostrils, throat, and lungs. This weakness was non-existent to an immortal zombie like Fang Yuan. The other killer move was called Kongxing Tian. Kongxing Tian was the name of a person. He was the Gu immortal who created this killer move. He was quite famous within Gu master history. He controlled the number 4 Gu in the list of top 10 mystical Gu, Chi Escape Gu. Spring Autumn Cicada was only ranked at 7th, while Chi Escape Gu was 4th. It was reverse refined from the legendary Reputation Gu. In terms of flying speed in a straight line, it was the number 1 Gu in the world. No Gu was its match. And this killer move was also a movement killer move. Back then, Kongxing Tian referred to Chi Escape Gu to create it. It could open the small pores on the Gu immortal's body and blow out small air currents, causing the Gu immortal to fly forward quickly. Not only was it fast, it could change directions very agilely. The killer move Kongxing Tian was very suitable to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had a zombie's body. His body's pores were tough and durable, even if they were destroyed. His terrifying recovery speed would heal them quickly. As for the Gu recipe, it was an ancient strength path Gu recipe. It could refine the rank 5 group strength Gu. Undeniably, these 3 items had been collected by Fairy Li Shan for some time. They were specially prepared for Fang Yuan. They were allies who had made an oath under Snowy Mountain. It was a good thing for Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan for Fang Yuan to be strong. Chapter 679. Immortal Gu is hungry. Fang Yuan thought a moment and said to Fairy Li Shan, I will take this poison breath killer move and the ancient Gu recipe. How many immortal essence stones for them? Fairy Li Shan replied, Poison breath is 2 immortal essence stones and the group strength Gu's recipe is 2 immortal essence stones as well. So altogether it is 4 immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan nodded, agreeing with Fairy Li Shan's quotation. Poison breath was not an ordinary killer move and was indeed worth 2 immortal essence stones. Group strength Gu might only be a rank 5 mortal Gu. But it was already extinct, and as such its high price of 2 immortal essence stones was normal. Fairy Li Shan took out 3 things. But this group strength Gu recipe, which was the most unremarkable among them, had the greatest attraction to Fang Yuan. However, although the offer was fair, Fang Yuan was low in cash and wanted to haggle to save as many immortal essence stones as possible. Thereupon, he said, this group strength Gu recipe might be rare, but it is an ancient Gu recipe. The refinement materials are very ancient and are now hard to find. Fairy Li Shan smiled. Fang Yuan, I have already considered this. I had originally planned to give this group strength Gu to Little Lan. The reason I am selling it to you now is because the main material in refining this Gu, stone monkey fur, has recently appeared in the market. He Lu Lan added, right, in Treasure Yellow Heaven, a Gu immortal by the name of Shirley who calls himself Immortal Monkey King has managed to research and produce stone monkey fur in his blessed land. This Gu refinement material that had been extinct for countless years has now actually reappeared in his hands, causing quite a big commotion in Treasure Yellow Heaven. In Group Strength Gu's recipe, the rarest material is stone monkey fur, while the others might be rare, but as long as you look for them, you will be able to buy them, search for them, or find substitutes using your own refinement path foundation. The implied meaning of this was that no haggling would be accepted. Fang Yuan was not discouraged. Stone monkey fur? This ancient material might have reappeared now, but it is entirely monopolized by Immortal Monkey King Shirley. The price will definitely not be cheap, right? There is an old saying, good things are not cheap. Fang Yuan, I have personally witnessed your immortal killer move, Myriad Self, and I still remember its astonishing might. There is no need for us to continue probing each other. Group strength Gu is worth much more to you than to normal Gu immortals. 2 immortal essence stones is already quite cheap. He Lu Lan refused to yield any benefits. If the other party understands you clearly, the situation would be rather troublesome to deal with. However, He Lu Lan was right as well, for immortal essence stones in total was a fair price. Fairy Li Shan did not cheat Fang Yuan of immortal essence stones, but she would not incur losses as well. All right. Fang Yuan observed the situation and did not persist. He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan were not Lang Yalan's spirit. Excessive haggling would only be insulting their intelligence. Both sides completed the transaction shortly afterwards. Fang Yuan obtained the poison breath killer move and the ancient group strength Gu's recipe, as well as 4 immortal essence stones. As for the movement killer move, Kongxing Tian, it was not suitable for Fang Yuan. Kongxing Tian opened all the pores in one's body from which air would shoot out and propel the body. This killer move had extreme speed and could also give great flexibility in changing direction. However, the opening of the pores in the whole body would greatly reduce Fang Yuan's defense. Moreover, Fang Yuan's defensive killer move, hair armor, covered the whole body without leaving behind any gaps. If Kongxing Tian was used, he would not be able to use hair armor. If he used hair armor, Kongxing Tian could not be used. These two were not compatible. Fang Yuan thus gave up on the killer move Kongxing Tian. His quantity of immortal essence stones increased to 19.5. But he had huge pressure in converting them to green grape immortal essence and feeding his immortal Gu. Fang Yuan was still lacking in cash and could not casually buy the relatively useless killer move. When leaving, Fang Yuan did not extravagantly use fixed immortal travel. Instead opting to use a Stargate. Before leaving, he checked He Lu Lan's luck. He Lu Lan was at rank 5 peak stage. Her luck could be perceived by the rank 5 luck inspection guild. He Lu Lan's luck had already recovered from the extremely low state when she went against Ma Hongyun. Her luck was like a giant pillar with the color of an azure sky, giving a feeling of being long-lasting. He Lu Lan's luck clearly is at the level of Han Li's and Hong Yi's. From this, it seems her Gu immortal advancement has a high probability of succeeding. But one can't just look at luck in everything. Otherwise, why would He Lu Lan die so suddenly in my previous life? One's luck might be good, but it depends on whether they can grasp it. Now it seems, He Qing might be involved in He Lu Lan's unexpected death. Although He Lu Lan's luck was strong, it was written in detail in the Snowy Mountain Alliance that allies could not intentionally inflict harm to each other. Fang Yuan was plagued with bad luck, and connecting his luck with hers would mean having an intent to harm. Moreover, according to his previous life's memories, Fang Yuan was not too optimistic of He Lu Lan's future. Fang Yuan did not a break luck goo, thus he could not carelessly connect luck and must choose his targets carefully. Back into Immortal Blessed Land. Fang Yuan took out 8 Immortal Essence Stones and converted them to his own green grape Immortal Essence. He had used fixed immortal travel many times, going back and forth from Western Desert, Central Continent, Eastern Sea, and Northern Plains. He also used Worldly Wave Trace Goo in the fight against He Qing, using up a total of 6 green grape Immortal Essence. He originally had 17 green grape Immortal Essence beads, but only 11 remained now. In consideration of the frequent battles recently, Fang Yuan refined 8 Immortal Essence Stones and increased his green grape Immortal Essence to 19 beads. With this, the amount of Immortal Essence Stones on Fang Yuan was 11.5. Fang Yuan reviewed his battle with He Qing and felt satisfied about it. Whether the result was victory or defeat was of no concern to Fang Yuan. He would not become angry or feel humiliated just because of failure. He would also not feel overjoyed and arrogant because of victory. What he prioritized were the gains and losses. He used up 4 beads of green grape Immortal Essence in this battle, but was able to obtain even more trust from He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan. At the same time, he also obtained 4 Immortal Essence Stones, the Poison Breath Killer move and Group Strength Goo's recipe. He had clearly made a good profit. But if I were to speak of a loss, it would be Worldly Wave Trace Immortal Goo. Fang Yuan took out the Immortal Goo Worldly Wave Trace. Right now, the Immortal Goo's aura was no longer as stable as before and revealed a trace of weakness. The Goo Worm did not have a healthy luster, instead appearing dark and gloomy. Fang Yuan was aware of why. Worldly Wave Trace Goo was not fed properly back at Imperial Court Blessed Land. When the Wind Veil of Assimilation appeared, Mo Yao's will activated Water Pavilion to battle, and after I obtained her Goo Worms, I activated this Immortal Goo several times. It has already reached a certain limit and need to be fed. If it is still not fed and I activate it excessively, it might die from hunger. Worldly Wave Trace Goo was the first Immortal Goo in Fang Yuan's possession that was crying of hunger. It could be foreseen that as time passed, many more Immortal Goo would cry out in hunger and would need to be fed. However, Worldly Wave Trace Goo's food was tens of thousands of underworld jellyfish and thousands of deep-sea lightning eels. Fang Yuan inquired little who Immortal Land Spirit. After Tai Bai Yunsheng left, the Land Spirit took over Tai Bai Yunsheng's work of paying attention to movements in Treasure Yellow Heaven. However, although Fang Yuan had taken the initiative to post requests for the goods in Treasure Yellow Heaven, there were few who responded. This was not a highly commercialized society like that on Earth. The economy here was not developed and one could not buy whatever they wanted to buy. Fang Yuan used Moving Perspective Cup Goo to send a letter to Tai Bai Yunsheng. Tai Bai Yunsheng gave him a piece of good news. He had already arrived at Haishur Blessed Land and smoothly got into contact with some Goo Immortals. Moreover, he also saw someone selling underworld jellyfishes in Haishur Blessed Land. Only deep-sea lightning eels were rarely seen as Goo Immortals had to enter the deep sea to capture them, which was not only dangerous. The sea areas where they were abundant were already controlled by Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance. Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance housed the headquarters of Zombie Alliance within all 5 regions. They were very powerful, a level stronger than even the super forces of Eastern Sea. Thus, Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance was domineering and rampant in their actions. They blockaded several large sea regions and controlled the large numbers of resources within themselves. This maintained and fostered their strength, making them become even more domineering to others. Tai Bai Yunsheng suggested Fang Yuan to join Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance and then purchase the deep-sea lightning eels internally. This was not only convenient, the price within Zombie Alliance would also be cheaper than outside. Fang Yuan was moved, but he had ascended to Goo Immortal in Northern Plains. His immortal aperture had Northern Plains Heaven and Earth Chi. There were differences between the Heaven and Earth Chi of the 5 regions. With just a simple test, one's origins would be clear. It was not impossible for Fang Yuan to join Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance with the status of a Northern Plains Immortal Zombie status. But he had to join Northern Plains Zombie Alliance for his major plan. This major plan had huge prospective yield, and Fang Yuan had been thinking of risking an act of disguise even if he was not an immortal zombie to join Northern Plains Zombie Alliance. However, as an immortal zombie now, it was no doubt much more convenient to join Northern Plains Zombie Alliance. Joining Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance might make it convenient to purchase lightning eels, but if Tai Bai Yunxing is given some time to make connections, he would be able to purchase them, just that the price might be a bit higher. Although I won't be able to activate Worldly Wave Trace Goo as much as I wish, it should hold on for some time. Fang Yuan was not willing to give up on his major plan, thus he refused Tai Bai Yunxing's suggestion in the end. After resting and reorganizing for a while in Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan activated Fixed Immortal Travel to arrive at Central Continent again. Universal Life Academy was located in Mountain Valley, and under the curtain of night, lights were lit up, making it appear quiet and tranquil. Hong Yi was sitting cross-legged on the bed, finishing his daily routine of nourishing his aperture. He opened his eyes, his pupils shining brightly, revealing a look of expectation and excitement. I have placed in the top 10 in today's competition without even having to reveal my true strength. Heaven is helping me, letting me coincidentally get a bye in the competition. People are treating me as just a lucky fellow. Tomorrow is the competition of the 10 strongest. They will underestimate me and won't expect my true strength. The day after tomorrow is the decisive battle. As long as I use this goo to break the opponent's defense, there is no need to mention what will happen next. As he thought of this, Hong Yi took out a rank 2 goo worm. Rewind. This was an extremely rare time path goo worm which could be used to both attack and defend. Its ability was to rewind an enemy's goo worm to its state before the activation. For instance, the enemy condensed a fireball, but under rewind goo's power, the goo worm would return back to before activation and the fireball would disappear. However, rewind goo had extremely huge demand on primeval essence. Even Hong Yi with his A-grade aperture and over 90% primeval essence could only activate it once. Chapter 680, G Forest, Earth Horse. Hong Yi had decided long ago he was going to use rewind goo to deal with his opponent's defensive GU. As long as the other party did not use 2 defensive goo at the same time. Hong Yi would just need to hit the opponent's body with 1 strike to heavily injure him, obtaining victory. But if the opponent had 2 defensive goo activated at the same time, Hong Yi would not go on the offensive immediately, he would start a drawn-out battle. The enemy would definitely expend primeval essence faster than him if he uses 2 defensive goo. One could say, with this goo in Hong Yi's hands, he had a great advantage. He was most likely the winner of this competition. If I get first, Mother's memorial tablet would be placed in the ancestral hall. She would be given a proper status. Suddenly, Hong Yi frowned. For one instant, he felt like his heart was empty, like something precious had been stolen from him. Don't tell me, because my wish is finally going to be fulfilled? I am starting to feel apprehensive. There is nothing valuable on me besides rewind goo. What could be worth stealing? Hong Yi shook his head. He laughed bitterly, forgetting that weird sensation he felt earlier. Far away in the valley, Fang Yuan breathed out deeply. Connect luck succeeded. For the luck connection this time, he purposely made the best use of his time, rushing here immediately after resting in Hu Immortal Blessed Land for a while. Thus, he did not come across any surprising disturbances. Fang Yuan used luck inspection goo to check Hong Yi's luck. His luck was previously milky white color. It was very special, giving people a feeling of vigor and vitality. His luck was gathered into a lump, forming the tall image of a scholar sitting and reading. The scholar's image was rather similar to Hong Yi. He had a lively expression. But after connecting with Fang Yuan, this white scholar luck shrunk. It was not even 30% of the original. The scholar's clean and smooth robe became a tattered shirt with random patches sewed onto it everywhere to maintain it. It was like a rich young master had turned into a poor man's child, a pitiful student. His expression was not so lively anymore. His face was thinner and his expression was darker, like he had experienced a terrible encounter. It seems that connecting my luck to these targets had its use. When I connected my luck to Han Li, I almost killed him. But this time, the connection to Hong Yi did not cause his luck to become deathly luck. It seems my own luck has improved greatly. Fang Yuan was gratified in his mind. Just when he was about to leave, he suddenly felt a tug in his heart. He found 2 hidden goo masters lurking in this valley. In order to undergo the luck connection, Fang Yuan had set up many goo worms near Universal Life Academy's valley. On one hand, he wanted to conceal the aura of the immortal goo, but it was also to surveil the surroundings and provide early warnings to him. One could say that the entire valley was under Fang Yuan's supervision. Fang Yuan closed his eyes and concentrated. These two hidden Gu masters were not weak. They were rank 5 Gu masters. They were at the other end of the valley, secretly moving while talking softly. Sect leader Fanny. Are you sure that there is a Xi forest and earth horses underneath the surface of this valley? Valley Lord Yuan Bai. There is no mistake. I saw it personally. Don't be anxious. Follow me into the cavern. When you see it for yourself, won't you believe me? Humph. This is the territory of Universal Life Academy. If the principal of Universal Life Academy, Hong Xianji, discovers us, we will be forced to bear the consequences of failure. Although Hong Xianji is strong, he is lacking in investigative methods. Otherwise, he would have found the great resources lying here already. We are intentionally hiding ourselves while he is unaware. How can he discover us? Sigh, if we are discovered, our reputations would be ruined. The leaders of two sects venturing into Universal Life Academy late at night. Fang Yuan heard the entirety of their conversation. Xi forest? Earth horses? He thought. Xi forest grew underground, usually for dozens of li. The lingji inside were as large as trees. Their meat was plump and juicy, that could be fed to Gu worms, used as Gu refinement materials or sold. Earth horses were mutated beasts native to Xi forests. There were usually 2 or 3 in a single portion of Xi forest. They lived as a family. The hoof of the earth horse was the main ingredient of the rank 5 earth escape Gu. The eyes of the earth horse could refine the X-ray vision Gu. The tail hair of the earth horse could refine the smoke dust Gu. The earth horse's body was full of treasures. It was no wonder the 2 rank 5 Gu masters, Valley Lord Yuan Bai and sect leader Fan Yi, were interested. But to Fang Yuan, the earth horses in Xi forest did not have any appeal. An earth horse was a mutated beast that could be on par with a myriad beast king. But a family of earth horses was only 2 to 3 myriad beast kings. There were many people selling Xi forests in treasure yellow heaven. It was a common good and did not even require immortal essence stones to purchase. But for Universal Life Academy, the underground Xi forest is a huge benefit and an important stockpile of resources. Unfortunately, they are still kept in the dark now. Fang Yuan thought about it. He followed behind the 2 rank 5 Gu masters from afar, successfully entering the underground Xi forest. As he estimated, this was an ordinary Xi forest. It was about 10 li in size, and there were 3 earth horses. They were a family living in the Xi forest. What a huge Xi forest! Sect leader Fan Yi exclaimed as he walked in the forest. This is a land of treasures. Why did it not appear in my valley? Sigh. Valley Lord Yuan Bai touched the branches of the lingji, saying in jealousy. Fang Yuan took a detour around them and got to the center of the Xi forest. There was the largest lingji here. It was 6 meters tall, reaching the ceiling of the cave. The flesh of the lingji was like a huge umbrella, spreading out in a circular manner. This was the lingji king. Fang Yuan lowered his head and came to the lingji king. Next to the lingji king, there were 3 earth horses guarding it, along with some metal-consuming ant groups. Among the ant groups, there were some wild metal pathgu, and the lingji king also had some wildwood pathgu worms. But these were all mortal. Fang Yuan did not conceal his immortal zombie aura. He came here without any obstruction. Fang Yuan stretched out one monstrous claw, grabbing the stalk of the lingji king. The lingji king trembled intensely, causing the ceiling of the cave to shake and debris to fall. The earth horses were suppressed by Fang Yuan's immortal zombie aura. They did not dare to get close, and only made cries from afar. After Fang Yuan searched for a while, he pulled back his zombie claw. In his monstrous claw, there was a heart. This was the lingji king's heart. It was soft and hot. The surface was milky white. This was completely made of lingji flesh and gave off a meaty fragrance. As long as I plant this lingji king's heart, soon, a new forest will form. Fang Yuan took the treasure from right under their noses. The soil of Hu immortal blessed land was not suited to plant large areas of Xi forests, but to sustain a small area of it. There were no issues, of course. There were also not much benefits in doing so. Fang Yuan was doing this purely for Fun. As for this huge Xi forest and the earth horses, Fang Yuan had no need for them. It was troublesome and time-consuming to move them into Hu immortal blessed land. He would rather purchase them directly in treasure yellow heaven if needed. It was more convenient. After losing the heart, the lingji king would not die. But the Xi forest would stop growing. It would have to recuperate for over a decade. What sound is that? Far away, Yuan Bai and Fanny glanced at each other. Fang Yuan taking away the lingji king's heart caused quite a commotion, along with the wailing horses. But when Yuan Bai and Fanny got to the lingji king, Fang Yuan had vanished without a trace. He had left. The remaining Earth Horse family exerted their anger and furious emotions on the two of them instead. The intense battle quickly attracted the attention of Universal Life Academy. Hong Xianji led a band of Gu masters and rushed here, in shock and joy. Yuan Bai and Fanny sighed in their hearts, feeling extremely unlucky. After an intense battle, Hong Xianji chased away Yuan Bai and Fanny. He gave orders to the elders of the academy who were in ecstasy. The matter of the Ji Forest is extremely important. From today onwards, we will halt the sect competition and call back the disciples and elders who are out on missions. From now on, there will certainly be difficulties. Yuan Bai and Fanny are sure to gather other sects to exert pressure on us. We have to defend this Ji Forest. It is our foundation to rise up. Yes, Lord Principal. The Gu masters responded. On the other hand, Hong Yi, who was sound asleep, had no idea that the sect competition that he was looking forward to had been cancelled. His desire to give his mother a proper status. That dream was going to have to be delayed for a long time. Swish, swish, swish. Waves were crashing on Fang Yuan's face, but such mild force could not make him feel anything. This place was not in Central Continent, it was in Southern Border. The river before him was the number 2 river of Southern Border, Jade Dragon River. Southern Border had 3 great rivers. The first was Red Dragon River, the second was Jade Dragon River, and the third was Yellow Dragon River. Red Dragon River had water red as blood. Jade Dragon River had green waves in it, while Yellow Dragon River was something Fang Yuan had traveled on in this life. It was yellow in color and had the most sediments. Fang Yuan toyed with the Lingji King's heart in his hands. After taking this heart, he did not leave. Immediately using fixed immortal travel, he went to a corner of the valley and left behind many goo worms before activating fixed immortal travel. These goo worms all self-detonated as he was leaving, eliminating the aura of fixed immortal travel. By doing this, he could avoid anyone tracing him. Right now, he was waiting for a person. This person was another one of his targets. He had amazing luck and many fortuitous encounters, rising to a legend from a nobody. During the 5 Regions Chaotic War, he was a rank 7 Gu Immortal, a famous person on the same level as Hong Yi and Han Li, but different from Han Li, who joined a clan later, and Hong Yi, who was a member of a sect. This person was a lone cultivator from start to finish. He had several good friends and family, but he did not join a particular force. When Fang Yuan was about to self-detonate in his previous life, there were rumors that Central Continent's Heavenly Court was about to recruit him. As for whether this information was true or not, Fang Yuan had no way to verify it. But now that Fang Yuan had been reborn, that was not important in my memories. This person had been ostracized his entire life after his clan banished him. By this riverside, he obtained the inheritance of a rank 4 Gu Master. It was just enough for him to use. Using this inheritance, he earned a living while repelling the dangers of the wild. He grew stronger step by step, grabbing onto a huge opportunity and obtaining the black-yellow Mother Chi Gu, the inheritance of a Taoist master. He won 9 out of 10 times when rock gambling and dominated all of the Southern Border gambling dens. Fang Yuan recalled that he knew this place due to the biography of Yi Fan. Every important person's history was usually recorded down in words and pictures. Yi Fan was Fang Yuan's target this time, and here was the start of Yi Fan's rise. Tonight, he would have his first fortuitous encounter.